Alright, why use the quadratic formula? Quadratic formula allows you to solve any quadratic equation even if you can't factor it. So any quadratic I throw at you, you can use this formula. I don't care if you're missing B or C or whatever it is, you can always use the formula, which is nice. Now, an important piece under the radical meaning this, right? That's the radical, obviously, is this. That thing right there, b squared minus 4ac. Just this thing, not with the radical, just this, is called something. This is called the discriminant. So write this down. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac without the radical. Okay? People like to put the radical, but no. It's just whatever number this turns out to be is called the discriminant. The discriminant tells you something. It tells you how many solutions there are and what types of solutions there are. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So, let's see. The discriminant, it tells you the number, meaning how many solutions there are, how many, and types of answers, meaning this, what types of answers could you get in a quadratic? You could get real, you can get real rational, you can get irrational, okay? You could get imaginary or complex numbers as answers, okay? How many answers? You could get one answer, no answer, zero answer, two answers. Types of answers, which means the roots, those two are the same thing. The discriminant can be, you're going to have a positive number, a negative number, or your number could be zero, meaning what's underneath the radical is called your discriminant. Whatever's underneath here is going to be positive, it's going to be negative, or it's going to be zero, okay? Which actually tells you something. The discriminant is on a radical. Think about what it means if you have a positive, negative, or zero under the radical. So if I had, like, I'll just make up a number, negative 7 plus or minus, and you got square root of negative 2 all over 2a, which I'll just make up a number 4. If you got this answer, what kind of, number one, how many answers would you get? Well, there's plus and minus here, so you'd have 2 answers. And what kind of answers would you get? Well, look at what's underneath the radical, a negative 2. Radical, negative 2. What type of answer are you going to get? You're going to get imaginary or complex. So you're going to say 2 complex answers, okay? What if this number was positive 2? What if it was positive? You'd still get 2 answers because plus or minus. And what type of answers would you get? Well, square root of 2 is irrational, but it's real, right? So real, irrational answers, okay? And you're still going to get 2 answers. You're going to get 2 answers, and they're going to be real and irrational. What if it was 0 under the radical right here? What if you got negative 7 plus or minus square root of, and your discriminant is 0 right here, all over some number, 4, doesn't matter. What does that mean? Negative 7 plus nothing, negative 7 minus nothing, all over 4. How many answers are you actually going to get? Not 2, because negative 7 plus 0 is still negative 7. Negative 7 minus 0 is still negative 7. In the end, you're only going to get 1 answer. What type of answer are you going to get? You're going to get a real answer. 1 real answer. Okay? So, here's kind of the setup they're going to show you right now. So, value discriminant. Basically, you just got to memorize this. But I don't memorize it. I just know whatever's underneath the radical, the discriminant, is going to tell me how many answers I'm going to get. So, if you got a negative answer underneath the radical, what are your answers you're going to get? You're going to get 2 answers, and they're going to be imaginary or complex. Same thing, right? If you got 0 underneath here, if you got square root of 0, you're going to say, oh, that's plus 0 minus 0, which is the same thing. So you're only going to get 1 answer, but it's going to be real. So you have to memorize this part. What if you get a positive? So there's 2 things for positive. Positive and a perfect square, meaning this, perfect square, you know what they are. What if you got square root of 4? So negative 7 plus or minus, and you got square root of 4 all over 2. What type of answer? You're going to get 2 answers, right? But what type? Well, you're going to get real And since it's square root of 4, that means there's no more root, right? Square root of 4 is 2. So negative 7 plus 2 over 2, negative 7 minus 2 over 2. So they're going to be rational answers, not irrational, because the root is gone, right? Root 4 is 2. And then if it's a non-perfect square, meaning like square root of any number you put in here, 15, 22, any number, okay, this number is irrational itself. So you're going to get 2 answers, and they're going to be irrational. So this is something you should know right here, because I'm going to ask you, what type of answers is this going to have? And I don't want you to do all the work. I just want you to look at the discriminant. That's all I want you to look at. Watch. Example number 2. Find the value discriminant and describe the nature of the roots. Is it real, imaginary, rational, irrational? And then you could solve it. But really, I just kind of want you to see right here. Let's find the value discriminant. Here's what you do. Don't solve the whole thing. Don't do negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. All that. Just do this. B squared minus 4ac. Just get this number. What's b squared? 49 minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 11. And then that answer is what? 49 minus plus 88. 49 plus 88, we got that before, is 137. So based on that number, you can tell me what type of solutions it has. Or, because it's underneath the root, right? Square root of 137. You can tell me how many answers you're going to have. One, you're going to have, so you're going to say, oh, there's 2 answers. You don't have to write answers. Actually, solutions is better. Solutions. And then, what type of solutions? Do you think they'll be real? Do you think they'll be imaginary? No, because it's not negative 137, right? So that's out. So it's definitely real. So they're real. But they're either going to be rational or irrational. Well, look at the number, 137. Does that look like a perfect square to you? No. So you're going to be left with a root of, a weird number, which means it's going to be irrational. That's how you figure this out. There's your answer. Find the value discriminant, which is 137, and that'll tell you 2 real, irrational solutions. Okay? Those are the answers that I want to see.